Mr. Liu, thank you so much for joining us. How do you think Chinese museums can leverage their resources to tell the China story more effectively to the world and, to better foster genuine cultural exchanges among different cultures?
我觉得可能从大的前提上来讲，我们是希望能够借助
On a broad level, we hope to leverage China's aim to build a strong cultural country. Internationally, this means strengthening our cultural soft power. Building that soft power is fundamentally tied to the preservation of our cultural relics and to the role of our museums. So why have museums become a primary platform for building cultural soft power? Mainly because museums generally hold a country's or even a people's or a region's most precious historical and cultural treasures. These artifacts often reflect the foundational, most essential elements of a nation's spirit. This level of authenticity is something that no modern, artificially created art form, whether drama, music, or dance, can match. Moreover, museum exhibitions are inherently visual and immediate. The authenticity of exhibits and the straightforward way they are presented allow them to break down or eliminate ideological and cultural barriers among people of different social classes, cultures, and ethnic backgrounds. In this way, museum exhibits have a special power to touch people's hearts. Furthermore, because these artifacts reflect a culture's core spirit and its most basic history, their communicative impact is very strong. A foreigner may not understand Chinese language or Chinese music, but when they see an artifact or an ancient Chinese painting, they begin to wonder why the people of ancient China created that object or painted that landscape. They begin to wonder what kind of worldview, what kind of view of the environment, and what kind of outlook on life it expresses. I believe that if we can regularly and widely share these cultural treasures abroad, people around the world will better appreciate the inclusiveness, peacefulness, and unity of Chinese civilization and culture. Therefore, as we promote our outstanding traditional culture internationally, museum professionals should lead the way. I recall a foreign minister of the former West Germany once said, "Every museum director is a diplomat, a cultural diplomat." This title of cultural diplomat is an honor Chinese museum professionals should live up to in the future.
Now, the 2025 APEC summit is about to take place, and cultural collaboration is expected to be high on the agenda. How do you think Chinese museums could better use such multilateral platforms to foster cultural dialogue among different countries across the Asia Pacific?
其实现在不光是 APEC。
In fact, it's not just APEC. And many of the large international events held in China, organizers have included museums as a key part of the cultural exchange programs. Showcasing our museums at events like APEC is, I believe, one of the best illustrations of Chinese modernization. Likewise, our international friends have long believed that museums provide the truest reflection of its cultural profile and achievements. They see hosting museum exchanges at international forums like APEC as capturing the most substantive and enduring aspects of cultural exchange. At every major international event, we invite some of the world's leading museums to exchange ideas with their Chinese counterparts about museum operations and their role in society. The outcomes have been very positive.
And the theme of this year's APEC Summit is Build a Sustainable Tomorrow. It highlights sustainable development in trade, digital technology, and beyond. Digital technology is actually already reshaping the museum sector. How do you think this sector could accelerate its digital or intelligent transformation to better foster cultural exchanges?
The era of digital intelligence is already here, and Chinese museum professionals have strongly felt the impact of digital technology and intelligent development on our museums. Some of the top museums in China, such as the Nanjing Museum, the Palace Museum, the Shanghai Museum, and the Hubei Provincial Museum, have already been actively using digital technology to develop smart museums. In many exhibitions, we have appropriately applied digital technology. Its extraordinary expressive power can indeed change the way museum professionals prepare exhibitions, and it can also greatly change the way visitors experience them. Digital technology provides a powerful impetus for museums to mount outstanding exhibits. Of course, applying digital technology is not just a technical issue. It depends on our museum professionals' ability to research our collections and interpret their value. In fact, in the digital age, the requirements for discovering and explaining the value of our collections are not the same as they were before. This means that our technological efforts must be accompanied by equally strong scholarship and curatorial expertise. We need to find ways to reconsider our collections from the perspective of digital presentation, aligning with both the technical requirements of the digital age and the viewing expectations of modern audiences. We should rediscover the value of these artifacts and retell their stories to bring to life the history, culture, and context each one embodies. In this respect, I believe both museum professionals and those working in digital technology must work even harder. These two forces need to come together and coordinate their efforts.